Alright, so here we go. I have a name that's not important. What I do have, though, that is important is a message. It's really quite simple, actually, but forgive me, I'm not a speaker. I'm not a YouTube type of guy. I don't know how to edit videos and stuff. But for some reason, a message was given to me, and it's for the world. You could take this however you want. I'm not on here for likes or comments or anything like that. What I was told is people need help. I was told that people need help. And I'll give you a little backstory myself. So I need you to understand where I'm coming from with this one. Some would call me a cult survivor. I've survived a cult. Was locked up in a cult for 5 years. I say locked up. I was free to go if I wanted, but I was mentally locked up. And I won't go into too much detail about the cult and their beliefs, but I will let you know that it was a Christian-based cult. Last days, Judgment Day, all that stuff. It was that, and I ended up making it out of that. It took 5 years, and through those 5 years, though, what I was able to do, and it just didn't make sense up until recently. For those 5 years, I studied that Bible inside and out, Old Testament, New Testament, and one thing was made clear to me, and it is the world, and especially the people that call themselves Christians. And don't take this the wrong way, because I'm really not judging you. This really didn't come from me. I mean, it's a clear understanding. You could look around and tell that this is the case, but this message didn't come from me. And I'm going to urge you now, because I'm an idiot, y'all. I'm going to urge you now, take this message. If you have any religious anything in you, you believe in a higher power, whatever, take this message to that individual in prayer or whatever, meditation. I don't know what you guys do, but this I know. This stuff wasn't done in a closet. It wasn't done in a closet. Sorry for messing up my words. It wasn't done in a closet. It wasn't done in the dark. This message that I got, I believe it's the same message a lot of people got. And if you were drawn to this video, there's a chance that you got the message too. So here's the message. And it's a big one, so please forgive me, because I'm not a speaker. I'm going to try to unpack this the best that I can, because I'm here to help people. I'm not here to judge people. I'm not here to... Y'all, people are not my enemy. Let me say that again. People are not my enemy. And it's the same for all of us. We are not each other's enemies. We need to know this now. And the reason I say we need to know this is because we'll just say there's a darkness that's on this world right now. And there's also a light that's on this world right now. And the light is fighting and the darkness is fighting. But the trick about darkness is darkness comes in the disguise of light. I'll use an example. One that we all can understand, Hitler, World War II. So what did Hitler do? Did he come out immediately from the jump and he just told everybody what his intentions, his plans were? Did he do that, or did he use manipulations? Did he use lies? Did he try to puff the people up? Did he try to make them feel more special and more powerful and yada, yada, yada? And then he tried to turn them towards hatred. And he did that. He did a really good job of that. As a matter of fact, it was Hitler that said, if you say the same lie over and over again, eventually people will believe you. And I might have messed up the paraphrase a little bit, but the message, the point is clear. If you say a lie over and over again, eventually people will believe you. And so this was a question that comes in my mind, is like, why are they so quick to believe lies? Why are they so quick to fall for this? And here's what it is. This is what was told to me. So I need y'all, like, again, take this to whatever source you want to take it to, and you be clear that the source is good. You be clear that your source is good. How do you find out if your source is good? Your source will let you know that you have a purpose on this earth, and it is not for yourself. That is a good source. Any other source that tells you that you are here for yourself, nobody can tell you anything, that is pride, that is a haughty spirit, you will fall. And I was once that person. I will speak from experience. I was once that person. There are people like me on this earth, and I'm nobody special, y'all. I'm here to help y'all. That's all I know. That is all I know. I'm here to help y'all. There are things on this earth that are here to bring about bad stuff. All right, bad. Okay, and they have weaseled their way in your government. They have weaseled their way in your churches. They have weaseled their way in your school systems, and we are now seeing the heavy end of that. But don't fear. And the reason I say don't fear is because there's good on earth too. All right, so there are, just like there's evil running around, there's also good that God is sending us to wake us up, to tell us that, hey, this ain't right, that, hey, we need to get this in order. And I believe that good, and this is all, everything that has come to me. And when I let you know that something came to me, I'm not sitting here telling you that I had an epiphany. I'm not sitting here telling you that all of a sudden it dawned on me. No, this is confirmed. America is in trouble, but America has an escape. This I know. And I speak for America, but this is, the whole world. This is all, I believe that, well, I know that darkness is here. I don't know how much it's reached. I don't know how far it's gone, but I know it's deep. But here's another message that I got. This is all, and forgive me, like I said, I'm not a speaker, y'all. And if y'all have any questions, anything, and if I'm butchering anything, please just comment in the chat. Let me know. But there's a darkness on this earth, and it is set to bring about the end. The end of man. The end of the world as we know it. I don't know what all their intentions are, but I know it's not good. And I know that it's gotten to the point to where the good is having to come down and help us out, because mankind has failed. How did mankind fail? You failed to stand up for the truth. You failed to stand up for your beliefs. You chose to give up your morals, and you chose to doubt the things that used to be simple common knowledge. And you let in the wolf. By ignorance, you're not to be completely blamed. It was through ignorance, lies, and deception. And you believed it. Here's how the devil works. The devil wants you to believe that the enemy is somewhere else. And here's how the devil's doing that. He's showing you that the enemy is man. He's pointing the finger at this person, at that person, at this person, and that person, at this person, and that person. Just getting you all full of anger to where you want to retaliate. This is a trick. This is a trick. Your enemies are not these people out here. Now, are there idiots out here? Yes, indeed. Are there people that basically belong to the devil? Yes. But here's something that was told to me. It is most people are not evil. Most people are naive. Most people are ignorant. That's how the evil is able to take advantage of you. Through you being naive, through your ignorance, he's able to get you. And how do they keep you ignorant? Well, they keep you watching TV. They keep you all on this internet, chasing after things that are anything but what you need. They keep you caught up in work, so you're not home raising your children. You're not involved in your kids' lives like you should be. And I get it, y'all. It's 2024. Things are hard. But this is a trick. That's why they're giving your kids all this filth to watch. I say I don't know who they are. I'm not going to sit here and get into conspiracy theories. I'm not going to sit here and get into anything other than what I've been told. And what I've been told is darkness. Darkness is here. And we need to fight it. But darkness is not man. You cannot. All right. Let's say Hitler really believed that the Jews were evil, right? Let's say Hitler really thought that the Jews were keeping whatever from being done that they wanted to bring upon earth. Yada, 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 whatever. Let's say he really believed that. Well, he tried to go out of his way to kill evil as if evil was a person. And we didn't learn our lesson. You cannot kill evil through killing people. You will not. Evil is not flesh. Evil is not blood. It is not. Evil is a spirit. Evil is magic. Evil is something that you cannot comprehend. But it's not people. And God's been very clear with me. God, I don't know. Whoever's been in contact with me, I know is a higher power. And I know that they're after the good of humanity. And they have let me know clear. And they have given me a purpose to help y'all out. And I'm going to help y'all. But y'all got to listen. And it's just dead serious. Y'all have to listen. Everything is not what you think it is. It's not. And you're starting to notice this a little bit. You're starting to see it. You're starting to see it. But don't fall for the trick. The trick is to turn your anger and hatred towards your fellow man. That is not the way that God intended things to be. So I don't know if you know, but we're starting to realize that, hey, you know, the flood that took place in the Bible, the flood that took place across a lot of different religions, is looking like it actually happened. A flood that destroyed the world, that took out most of mankind. Only a handful of survivors were left to repopulate the earth. Okay, that's looking like that it really happened. There are signs on earth, there are scars, there are markings all over the earth, and things that they're looking into that are like, yes, this happened. So let's zoom in a little bit. I'm gonna use the Bible. I don't know what background you come from. I don't claim to be Christian, but like I said, when I was stuck in that cult for 5+ years, I studied that Bible inside and out. And one of the things that was told to me is that y'all need help, especially the Christians. People need help. So I'm gonna help the people that I can, the best that I can. Okay, this right here, hang on. This right here, this is the daily verse of the day, okay? You see it right up here? This right here, I'm gonna highlight it for y'all. All right, this comes from Philippians 4:8. This is a verse of the day on this Bible app. I did not even know this. I told you I'm not a Christian. I don't even read the Bible like that anymore. But for the sake of helping Christians, I'll bring this up because y'all need to know this. Y'all need to know this. Christianity, as we know it, is so backwards and perverted right now. Y'all are doing the same thing the Jews did. And y'all, I don't know, if you be a Christian, a worldly Christian nowadays, there's a high chance that you're doing the same thing that the Pharisees did. And the Pharisees were responsible for killing Jesus. The Jews were responsible for killing Jesus. And you're doing the same. There's a high chance that you're doing the same thing that the Pharisees did. And we'll get into all that. But right here, Philippians 4:8, it says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report. And good report is like good news. If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. So it's just telling you to train your mind to think on positive things. Don't think. So here's the trick. Here's the darkness. Okay, let me shine a light on the darkness real quick because I love it. That's my enemy. Y'all ain't my enemy. The darkness is my enemy. The darkness will get you to think the opposite of this. The darkness will get you to hate people. The darkness will get you to turn and think that we need to go fight people. And that is not the case. That ain't the case. No. Now, there are some people I do believe that are messing with darkness on purpose and they know what they're doing. But a majority of regular people do not know what they're doing. But they run from God. They do that. They run from the things that they know that they need to face. And they spend their whole life doing that. And some of y'all die. Y'all, I don't know. Some of them die. And some of y'all probably will die in the same way because of pride, because you're not honest with yourself, and because you don't know yourself. And these are 3 tricks of the devil. Don't know yourself. Don't be honest with yourself. And don't even try. Don't even try. And conform. That is not good. So there's a big trick going on. So, I mean, I'm going to tell you right here, this is your answer of how to beat that system. And I'm going to use myself as an example, okay? I just went I went to the doctor earlier, and there was this lady. She came out. She was going to take my blood. She was going to, do all the things that nurses do. I think she was a nurse. I'm not sure. But she came in, and, I mean, from the jump, she was irritated. She was just treating me wrong, and you could just feel it. You could see it. You could hear it, all that stuff. She had an attitude with me. And I started feeling this anger inside of me towards her because it's like, this woman's really coming at me sideways right now for no reason. And then all of a sudden, it's like, this left-handed thought came to my head, and it's like, let's beat that with kindness. Let's beat it with kindness. And so here's what I did. And then, like I said, I'm just using me as an example. Instead of getting angry and lashing out or letting her know that I'm upset or whatever, I flipped the script. I started complimenting her, I started apologizing, for if, I know I'd showed up a little late. That was about 30 minutes before they closed. I apologized for showing up late. And then all of a sudden you felt the whole mood shift. She was treating me kinder. We actually had some sort of connection going on. I don't know, connection is kind of a cringy word. The whole everything, the whole atmosphere shifted into more of a positive vibe. And so the lesson that I got through that is the way that you beat darkness is through kindness, but do not conform. Do not conform. You understand that light and darkness are opposite. You stand for whatever side you choose to stand for. If you choose to stand with darkness, well, then that's you. You have that right. You choose to stand with light, then you have a different way of doing things. And you forget, I don't know, many of y'all did forget, this has been clear, because this was told to me, that darkness is outworking the light right now. The children of darkness are down here. They are thinking more creatively. They are figuring out more creative ways to get y'all and to trick y'all into going with the darkness through lies and deception and multiple different things. And the people that are supposed to be the children of light, let's say the Christians, you know, if you come from whatever religions you come from and y'all believe in this light source and being that, well, there's a high chance that you're failing that right now and you don't know it. My problem with religion is that and I found this out through the cult that I was in and I grew up in churches too. There's the issue that I see with religion is it stunts your mental growth. It stops you from thinking outside of the box. It forces your brain into a certain way of thinking and you adapt to think that way, but it's really not you thinking. It is the system thinking for you. And that stops you from progressing. That's going to sound like a big pill to swallow because a lot of people are going to be like, well, how can church be a bad thing? Church indeed can be a bad thing, especially if church is infiltrated by darkness. And keep in mind, darkness does not come out, not always. It knows how people are. If I came out today and said, hey guys, we need to go across the Mississippi River and slaughter a whole town of people just because I'm feeling that way today, y'all are not going to gather together unless you're a freaking nutcase to go do that, and rightfully so. But if I could convince you that the enemy is over there across the Mississippi River and they are actively trying to stop you and they're the reason why you can't get ahead in life and they're the reason why you experienced all these things, and I take your mind off of the real enemy and point you towards somebody else, well, you're no longer a threat to me as the enemy. You're no longer a threat to me. Why? Because you're over there chasing somebody else as if they're the enemy. When God told us to love one another, He told us to love one another. You got to get this right. If this is you, you live on this earth with other people. You have a role. Don't let that devil tell you that you don't have a role. We are fighting hell. Let me be clear. We are not fighting man. We are fighting hell. Darkness. Your Bible told you that. I'm gonna be clear with something else too, because when it comes down to the today's church standards, I get one thing and that's Pharisees. I get one thing and that's not just the Pharisees, but it's Israel in and of itself. Right during the time of Jesus. Okay, and a lot of people don't read their Bibles. A lot of people think that, oh, well, the Israelites are the people of God. Y'all, the things have changed. You forget the Old Testament was an example. The New Testament is your new covenant. It's your new covenant. And in that New Testament is the grafting in of the believers to the Israel of God. And it's also a cutting off of those that are in Israel, but not of Israel. Because the real Israel is the Israel of God. The real Jerusalem, the Bible says, comes down from heaven. So all this other stuff is a foreshadow. It's an earthly example because we're stupid. We cannot comprehend higher things. Not only that, but there's something that's in us that once we figure out the truth and the truth is a little bit different, not only a little bit, it's way different than what we thought it was. If you lack self-confidence, if you lack a belief in what you believe, you lack faith, you're not going to stand with it. You're not. You're going to conform. The darkness is going to come in and it's going to pluck that light from you, deboing you out of that light. Like a little coward that you are, if that be you. And I'm just letting you know this. And you don't stand. That's a problem. But here's the big problem is you claim to be a child of light. Yet you are not fighting for light. So what happened with the Jews there in Jesus' time? Okay. Jesus came to the Jews, to his own people, And what do they want? Did they want some lowly guy born of a virgin coming down, born in a freaking trough, coming down to them, talking about forgiveness, this, that, and the other? No, they wanted to bring kingdom down to earth, destroy their enemies, and set them up to be established before all. And Jesus wasn't doing that. And they were pissed. They were very deeply upset. And they hated him. And they killed him. But the whole time, Jesus was against them. What did Jesus do? He went after the lowly sinners. But here's the flip side too. Here's how the darkness lies to fake churches too. Jesus went to those in darkness, correct. But what did he do? He brought them light. He brought them light. To those that were judgmental, to those that wanted to kill those that were guilty, to those that wanted to kill those that they viewed as in darkness, to those that wanted to do that, Jesus had something to say to them. He told them, he called them hypocrites because they were guilty of evil as well, yet they were blinded. He told them that they had a beam in their eye and that they first need to remove that beam before they could remove the mote out of their brother's eye. They didn't like that. They didn't like that. They thought they were the holy people of the time. Jesus came down and he told them, you were not. You were anything but. You were children of the devil. They were active members of darkness. Jesus said you will be judged by your fruit. If you be a tree, the fruit is your actions. It's your doing. It's your life story. It's you will either have good fruit or bad, and you cannot have both. That's according to your Bible. You need to know this. You cannot be a child of God and a child of the devil. You can't. It's just not going to happen. It's not. That's to say that I am with this person and with his enemy at the same time. You are a traitor. Now, I know that most people do not do this on purpose. So I'm not trying to put you down. What this is a wake-up call, guys. Darkness is here. That's why your music's all about the devil. That's why your TV shows are all demonic. For a big part, they are demonic. Like what? They came out with a TV show called Lucifer. They came out with a TV show called The Boys. And I don't know if you've seen that one. It's not something people should be being shown, that's for sure. It's not going to help civilization. It's not going to help people at all. But either way, this is the type of stuff the darkness feeds you. Feeds you, and it feeds you, and it feeds you, and it feeds you. Darkness is hatred, and hatred is murder. Jesus said if you hate your brother, you're a murderer. And rightfully so, because if you have that hate in your heart, you will murder somebody. That's how the devil gets you. That's how the devil gets you. But I need the Christians to know this too, that y'all got help, but you got to receive your help. Whatever that means, I don't know. You've got help, but you got to receive your help. A lot of people run from God. And one thing I've been shown from my whole life, and it's been solidified now, is people are getting stuck in cycles, continual cycles, and they are running from God. How do you know you're running from God? How do you know you're in a cycle? Every day is the same thing. It's just another day. You're falling for the same tricks. You're having the same issues happening over and over and over again. You might be on drugs and you're in an everyday cycle on the drugs. You're living to get high. You might have a bad relationship with your spouse, and every day it's just a repeat and it's a repeat. You're making those mistakes and you're not admitting to it. It's much easier to look at the next person and blame them than it is to look at yourself and blame you. But a lot of times, guys, you're upset with your reflection. And if you got some wisdom, take that and apply it to that. If you are upset, there's a high chance that you're upset at something that you're guilty of. God has a way of letting everybody know what their issue is, and God has a way of helping everybody out of their situation. The problem is people stopped wanting to be helped out. They started running from it. And it's a big problem with grown-ups, I notice. Grown-ups nowadays aren't, not all of them, but for a majority and a vast amount, are not grown-ups. They're not. Just because you're of a certain age does not make you a grown-up. I had to swallow that pill and learn that myself. There's a difference between the mindset of a child and an adult. Far different. And if a person is an adult with the mindset of a child, then they have failed to grow. They have failed to become an adult. They have failed themselves, and they have failed their children, if they have them. They have failed their spouse, if they have one. And they have failed their fellow man. And that's one thing every one of us has, is fellow men. And when I say man, I just mean mankind. Man, woman, child, everybody. Your purpose is here. And your purpose is to be a light and an active figure. Jesus did not want us to play church. He did not want us to show up to a building once a week, pay tithes, and that's that. That is not it. That is a sick, perverted twist of what is supposed to be sacred. And the people fell for it because it's an easy way. We love easy, we do. But we're figuring out now that you cannot have easy all the time. That there are things that require hard. There are things that require sacrifice. And these are lessons that we have forgotten. It's more common now to choose not to have children than it is to have children. It's more common now to convince yourself that you're of the opposite sex than it is to be content with who you are. And these things are bad for civilization, they're bad for society. But these people aren't the enemy. You have to remember, this is darkness. And these people are ignorant. How do you make a difference? Do we go slaughter all the freaking people that are agreeing with darkness? No. No. You make a difference. Help people out. Correct people that are wrong. Let them know. But first, make sure that you're right. You have a right to tell somebody if they're wrong. Just like a doctor has a right to tell you if you have cancer. But you have to make sure that you are a doctor. You have to make sure that you are in that position. You have to make sure that, and that's a position for anybody. All you have to do to make sure that you're in that position is you've got your backyard cleaned. You've got yourself taken care of. It helps you to see clear once you get your backyard clean. It helps, and I can explain it to you. You won't get it. If you know, you know. If you don't, all I can say, hey, get on that backyard cleaning thing and watch your life change. Watch. If you're an atheist, watch a connection form. I promise you guys, there are people down here to help y'all. And it's idiots like me, I guess. You know, and I say I'm an idiot. And I am, y'all. I mean, I'm not anybody special at all. I didn't even graduate high school. All I knew, though, y'all, this is all I knew. And this is what I pled with. I'm going to just say a higher power, because I don't even know. I just pled with him because I want to see man saved. I want to see humanity saved. I want somebody who wants what's good for the people. And that's what I pled with. And an answer came to me because I was sincere. That's all. I was sincere. I wasn't BSing God. I wasn't BSing the higher power, whatever. I was sincere. And you'll notice this too. A lot of times you feel like you lack a connection, or you're lacking the help that it is that you need in order to move forward in life. That's because you're bucking God. That's because you're acting against God and you're not listening. You're not listening. You don't want to listen to the good advice when it comes in your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you're a drug addict. You don't want to listen to the voice that comes in your head and says, hey, I can't keep doing drugs. You don't want to listen to that because that requires a change. That requires a sacrifice. You don't want to listen to the voice that comes in your head and says, hey, you might want to watch what you're eating because that could be detrimental to your health. You don't want to listen to that. You don't want to listen to the things that you should listen to. And that's a problem. And I'm just telling you this for your good because you need this. So let's go back to the Jesus subject when it came down to Israel, whatever. When it came down to earth. Before Jesus came down to earth, what happened? Do you know? A name John the Baptist rings a bell to me. All right, John the Baptist was sent down to earth for what purpose? This is what purpose was John sent down to earth for? John was sent down to earth to prepare the people for the Lord to arrive on earth. That is what John the Baptist was sent to earth for. In the spirit of Elijah, he came down to earth and he prepared. Actually, let me look up I think it was the last chapter of the Old Testament. Let me do that real quick. I think I can find it. Let's see if the internet connection will pick up. Oh well, I'm gonna just look it up on Google. We'll do Bible Hub. All right. Okay. I mean, do I feel like doing... No, I don't want to do that. All right. Well, Bible Hub, do a better job. That's ridiculous. And Bible Gateway. What is going on here? This is white screen. It's almost like somebody doesn't want me to let y'all know this, but that's all right. I'm gonna let y'all know. Bible Gateway, King James Version. Okay. Bible book list. Yes, here we go. All right. I want to say it's Malachi. And I'm sorry for the internet connection. This is bad. All right. What the heck? It's almost like somebody doesn't want me to let y'all know this, but I'm going to let y'all know. Bear with me. I apologize. Try it one more time. And if not, I could paraphrase it for y'all, and y'all could look this up on y'all. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't care if they can get mad all they want to. All right, John the Baptist was brought down to earth so that he could prepare the earth for the coming of Jesus, because they were so freaking perverted, so corrupt. I think that the Old Testament said that if John the Baptist wasn't going to be sent, God was going to destroy the earth even back then. So John the Baptist, he came down to turn the hearts of the fathers to their sons and the hearts of the sons to their fathers. What does that mean? What does that mean? Because it's important to understand your history, or you'll fail to understand the present. All right, because we have this issue going on now. The hearts of the fathers are not on their children, and the hearts of the sons are not on their fathers. The children don't obey their fathers. The fathers aren't even looking out for the children like they should. They're teaching their children perverse things. They're teaching their children everything but what they should. And how can they teach them anything good if they don't know themselves? Everything has been perverted and dumbed down, and you have been put in a position where you think that you have no power and that you cannot make a change. That is a lie from the devil. He doesn't want you to try to make a change. He doesn't want you to fight the system. He doesn't want you to fight him. He doesn't want you to know that he's the real enemy. He doesn't want you to know that he's tricking you. He doesn't want you to know those things. Why? Because then you can start fighting him, and you'll stop fighting the people you aren't supposed to be fighting. So anyway, I believe the scripture is in Malachi. I know it's in one of the last books of the Old Testament, but that's something that God, we need to take this as a nugget. God looked down on the earth, and he's seen that the hearts of the sons weren't on their fathers, and the hearts of the fathers weren't on their sons, and he was pretty upset about that. Apparently, to the point to where he had to send down Elijah to come make straight the way of the Lord. You see what I'm saying? And they didn't even like Elijah. But that's okay. Then came Jesus. So apparently the way was made. It was good enough. God wasn't going to destroy the earth. He sent down Jesus. And Jesus came. And he taught compassion. He taught forgiveness. He taught love. And he also taught judgment. He taught those things too. But what did God say? Did he not say that he prefers mercy over judgment? You need to remember this, because the devil prefers judgment over mercy. As an active member of the team of light, whatever that means, if you stand up for good, then that is your job to be an active member of light. That is your job to know your God. That is your job to seek him out. Not through a system, not through nothing like that. Through your heart. God is just like you. He doesn't want a half-tailed relationship. He doesn't want, and he doesn't want no showy nonsense. He doesn't. He don't want you showing up to a building, throwing your hands up, flipping and flopping around, making a move, basically a fool out of yourself. And I'm guilty of that. I did it. I grew up in Pentecostal churches. I get it. You know how Pentecostals, they get down. But they're wrong. They do all this showing stuff, and then they go home to do what? Nothing. All of their actions is in a building inside with themselves, instead of out in the world where people really need help. And they stunt you from going out in the world and helping people. It's a dangerous thing. But I'm here to let you know that a lot of these religions, especially in America, are fake. With Christianity and all this stuff, it's fake. It's a perversion of the real truth. And the only reason that people don't know it is because they don't really seek the truth. If you seek it, you'll find it, I promise you. It might take some years. God will put you on a path, and all of a sudden you some crazy stuff will start happening, but it's for a reason. You'll come out the end of that knowing way more than you did in the beginning. All you got to do is hold on, and you got to seek him out. Seek him out. And it ain't even that complicated. It's really not that freaking complicated. Honestly, I didn't even seek God out. I didn't seek him out. I ran. The only reason I could think of that, and I say God, I don't know. I don't identify as Christian, y'all. I'm here to help y'all because I have a background in Christianity. But whatever this entity, I don't know, came to me was for the good of humanity, wants to see humanity saved, wants to see humanity walking in love and in kindness one to another. And so I'm gonna call him God. Him, her, I don't know. I'm gonna call this entity God. But this entity is upset because team players stop being team players. Rule number 1 is to be selfless. If you've had children, then that is the first rule you learn. You go your whole life, if you're anything like me, being about yourself, worrying about you. That's typical, I guess, unless I'm just a piece of crap. But for me, that's how it was. And then I had a child. And then it was like this friction of I was forced to learn how to put somebody before myself for the first time in my life. Constantly. Was it aggravating? Yes. Yeah, it was aggravating. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. It taught me beautiful things. And it also showed me that I have a responsibility to take care of my children and to prepare them for the world that they're going to enter in. And also to raise them in a way that teaches them their role in this world, that teaches them to love people, that teaches them to look out for people and to be a protector of the weak. I don't see, and I'm not saying that y'all ain't out there, dude. What I'm saying is I don't look around and see that this being a common teaching to young men anymore. The only reason I was able to learn this, guys, is because I grew up without a father. My father left, he abandoned me right after I was born. And that just is what it is. So I had to learn how to be a man. I had to learn how to be a father. And I had to learn from scratch. And thankfully so, because apparently it's a backwards teaching going around right now for men. And for men, I want to warn y'all too. They want you to go forwards and backwards. What do I mean by that? They want you to go forward into this weird new age stuff that they got going on now. And I'm talking about the perversion. There's some good new age stuff and there's perversion. They want you to go into this perversion. That's why they're trying to turn everybody gay. That's why they're trying to get everybody to go forced away on the children. They're trying to bring about this darkness. They're trying to pervert everybody. And if you identify as gay, then that's whatever. You know, I'm not here to stop you from doing what you do at all. But what I am here to say is whatever. See, I know me, and I am by no means perfect. But I'm not trying to be a destructive figure for my fellow man. That's all. That's all. And if you are gay, then you need to know that you are not a target like you think you are. You're really not. If you're black, you're not a target like you think you are. You're really not. And I have to say that because there's been a lot of chaotic stuff kicking off with both of those ideas. You know, and the darkness is turning them to make them think that people like us are their enemies, people like you are their enemies, whatever. People that don't think the same way as them are their enemies, or that are against their beliefs are their enemies. And that's not the case. Y'all forgive them. Stand up for what you believe in. Stand up for your kids. Here's the thing. You have a responsibility for that. Your children are too weak to stand up in this world for themselves. And it is your job to stand up for both yourself and your children. and to protect them. And you make sure that whatever it is, because you think you know what's right. I know how that is as a parent. You think you know what's right. That's why you need God, because you don't. You don't. You think that you thought the answer 10 years ago was don't judge nobody. You thought that was it. You let the wolf in. You let the chaos in because you decided to drop your guard. There's a reason that judgment exists. There's a reason that we are to judge one another. We are. Here's the thing. Judgment isn't what you think it is. Judgment is just discerning right from wrong. That's all that is. See, we get this fake religious version of judgment, which is put others down to uplift myself. That is the way of the Pharisee. Don't be that way. But also don't ever condone evil. Don't ever. How do you know what's evil? How do you know what's good? What is good will be good for you and for others. What is evil will be good for you. Oh, it'll come in a message where you think it's good for you, but it'll be evil for others. Every action has a reaction. Everything you do affects yourself now, tomorrow, and others. Now and tomorrow. It'll affect somebody in some type of way. That's where the role that people have has been just erased. Now we walk around earth and everybody's worried about them. You are opposite of God. You are the opposite of God. That doesn't mean you can't become one with God. You can't become cool with God. It's not the case at all. You can absolutely become one with God and cool with God. But you got to come to the understanding. And this understanding isn't one that is of your mindset. It's not according to the way that you think. But once you get that understanding, it makes sense because it's everything comes together. And you have a role in this world. Don't you let the darkness convince you of not. Don't let the darkness convince you that you don't have a role. Don't let the darkness convince you that you can't do good. And don't let the darkness convince you that the good that you can do is just simple going to church and paying your tithes and offering. That is silly. That's silly. By the way, God doesn't want 10% of you. God wants all of you. You get me? You get me? They had to give the people in the Old Testament tithing and offering laws because they had a hard heart. It was like pulling teeth to squeeze 10% out of them. You needed you needed rules and ordinances and laws. You needed those things because people walked contrary. What Jesus apparently brought was a renewing of the inward man so that the inward man can naturally walk the way of God. Without needing all the rules and regulations. I mean, think about it, guys. We got red light. We got stoplights in the city. How do we get those stoplights? Well, because people drive stupid. They drive reckless. They drive in ways to where everybody's trying to get to where they got to go ASAP. And it's that thought, that mindset of me. It created wrecks. It created bad things. It created, all kind of issues. Apparently, the country said that we need stoplights because mankind would not naturally just do what they're supposed to do. That's where you get rules and regulations. That's where you get that. When you fail to do what you're supposed to do, you think God wants to come down here and force you to walk a certain way? Then you don't know God. You don't. He'll help you to do what you're supposed to do. He'll help you to get to where you're supposed to get to. But you got to move your feet. You got to move your feet. You got to listen. You got to listen. Stop thinking you got it all figured out because you don't. None of us have it all figured out. That's where we went wrong, thinking we got it figured out. We don't. The only nugget of truth we can get is that we have a role, that we have a part to play, and God has set that before us of what we're supposed to do, and we're not listening. So that goes to this conclusion right here, and this will be the conclusion of this message. Your world as you know it is a reflection of your choices. I'm going to break this down real quick. You get upset about these people putting out music where everything's about the devil all of a sudden. Why is everything about the devil? Why are they doing all this stuff? Okay, you chose to listen to it. These people don't make money from thin air. They make money off of you. They make money off of us as a whole. And one thing I like about the military is when one person screws up, they all have to suffer because that's the way it is on earth. If a portion of us screw up, then we all have to bear the consequences of that. If mom and daddy get an argument at home and dishes start being thrown or whatever, everything's getting stupid. Well, now the kids are suffering. Your stupidity has caused suffering on innocent people. You have to understand this. If you could understand that little nugget of truth that will unlock so much understanding for you, you have a role. And that's why the devil is fighting so hard to pervert that. These devils, these suckers, bro, they're so freaking weak. They're so cowardly that they have to lie and manipulate and pervert the truth to get you to believe them. But it only works if you're naive. Don't be naive. This is a wake-up call. We have, and I've got more messages that I will share with y'all in time. I have a message for America. I've got things I'm going to share. I'm not looking for likes. I'm not looking for comments. I'm looking to get this message out there. I believe that it'll get to whoever it's supposed to get to. God would rather have mercy over judgment. That does not mean that, it doesn't mean that bad things can't come. Bad things, I do believe, come based off of our decisions, based off of our collective decisions. When you add up, imagine there's a scale in the world, okay? Imagine there's a scale, and that scale has on one side good and on the other side evil. Now that good and that evil is fueled by humanity and their collective decisions. Once humanity decides to have a collective decision of evil, well, then evil comes. Once humanity decides to have a collective decision of good, then good comes. Your world is a reflection of your choices. Your life is a reflection of your choices. What you see is what you're giving into. And you have more power than you think. Way more power than you think. You can fight evil by doing good. That's how you beat evil, by doing good. You don't fight fire with fire. You fight evil by doing good. Okay? Fathers, love your sons. Sons, obey your fathers. Get involved in your kids' lives. Don't let your kids tell you what you're supposed to do. Don't let your kids make you feel like you're not loved, and understand that they're children, that they're growing too. Just like we're children and we're growing too. But make sure they're growing. Make sure they're growing, because I promise you, we've got somebody that we're children to, and they're looking out for us and making sure that we grow, okay? And if you say that you have a relationship with that individual, I'm talking about God. If you say that you have a relationship with God, then you are to be like God. You are to be like them. How can you hang out with somebody and not become like them? How can you hang out with somebody better than you, somebody that you look up to, and not become like them? You can't. You can't. If you put me in a group of people right now and fast forward time about a year, you're going to notice that my accent's changed. The types of words that I use have changed. The way that I might even walk might have even changed. There are things that will change just from being in the presence of someone that you look up to. Okay? So don't get caught up thinking that you have a relationship with God when you're not acting like God. No, what you have, and this is the same thing I had, and I had to come to this understanding, you have a relationship with the devil. That's why you are becoming more like the devil, but you have to be honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself and you have pride and you don't give in to the things that you know that you need to give into, well, then you're just gonna continue doing what you've been doing and getting worse. And I personally would not care that much if what you did only affected you. I would still want the best for you. I would still want you to get off of that, whatever it is that's got you hung up and have better. But at the same time, I wouldn't care as much, because that just affects you, and that's your decision. My issue is when decisions are affecting others, and that's where the devil's getting into this. Everything's getting crazy for Christians too. I'm gonna let you know this: stop trying to bring judgment. Stop it. You're falling for the same trap that the Pharisees fell for. They wanted to bring judgment. They wanted to see their enemies burn. They wanted to see that. Y'all stop it. God prefers mercy over judgment. And if you do not get in line, then you are just like the devil. The devil prefers destruction over mercy. So figure out who it is you're listening to. I mean, we got breadcrumbs. We could figure it. It's really simple. Don't let your heart become blinded. Your heart's blinded when you decide to close the eyes of your heart. When you decide the heart will be the inward man. The heart will be your soul. When God's telling you things and you decide to close the eyes and look away, then you will have a blind heart. But that is a willingly blind heart. And you will not change. And you'll notice that. You'll notice that for the rest of your life, you will continue to go through the negative things that you're going through, to have the negative experiences that you're having, because you are doing what the definition of insanity is, the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That's wrong. I'm not here to convert anybody to anything. What I'm here for is to wake people up, to let y'all know, hey guys, we have to get this in order for the and not just for the sake of ourselves. This is for the sake of our children. This is for the sake of our world. This is for the sake of everything as we know it. There is a shift fixing to take place. And here's the message that I was given, and this is the battle for the tides. The tides are changing. This is a battle for the tides. Light is fighting darkness. Darkness is fighting light. Darkness has more recruiters down here on earth, though, than the freaking light, because many people would rather listen to the darkness. And then those that would listen to the light just shut off their conscience. They shut it off and they go through motions, because it's easier to do that than it is to get involved. And if you're not playing the game, then there's members that we're supposed to have on this team that we're missing. And that's a shame on humanity. So this is a wake-up call. Like I said, I'm going to be putting out more videos, because I do have more messages and they do come. They do come. And I have prophetic dreams too. I have those things that they come true. It's not because I have some type of freaking ability to wield some type of magical, I don't know. It's just because somebody's letting me know this. God is letting me know this, and it's for y'all's good. Everything he's letting me know is not so that I can sit on here acting like I'm somebody more intelligent than y'all, because I am not. Everything that is told to me is so that I could help you guys out. I am in the same boat with y'all. I do not even identify as a Christian. That's a shame. I don't even identify as a Christian, yet here I am helping the Christians. That should let you know what time we sit at right now. And God's going to find his help, even if his own people deny him that. The Jews denied him the help. He went to the sinners. He went to the heathen. He went to the Gentiles. He went to us. Okay, and now we're denying him his help. Do you think he's going to just sit around waiting? He's not. I think that's why he's picking morons like me, high school dropouts, people that are nothing. Because the people that are something ain't doing nothing. But I'm here to help y'all. So, either way, if you like this type of content, this is what it's going to be. If you don't like this type of content, well, you know, YouTube's a big platform. There's other channels you could go watch. But my message, really ain't even my message. The message that I got, I will give y'all, because I love y'all to death. I like y'all a lot. I love y'all to death. I want to see humanity flourish. I broke down and I reached up and plea to whatever deity that I could find that would look out and try to help humanity. And he reached out to me. And he let me know that it's on. It's time to play ball, guys. If y'all got the message, you know what I mean. It's time to play ball. Yes, indeed. 222, it's time.